So, in today's video, I wanted to address my brothers, my black men who may believe in doing online dating, and you may first start out by connecting with a female off of a social media slash dating app who may happen to spark your interest, and vice versa. And to cut to the chase, the two of you may arrange to go out on a date. So once you were to usually get the opportunity to take her out on a date, she may pick the highest restaurant, fine dining restaurant that could come to her mind. The first fine dining restaurant that may come to her mind, that's the main restaurant she may usually choose. Only for her to hardly say anything throughout the whole entire dinner date, only to, after spending so much money during the date without her even contributing to pay her share of the date, her half of the dinner date, she may have the nerve to ask to get a to-go plate, to ask to get extra food during the dinner date so she could take it home to and make up the excuse, as in she may want to take the food home to her children, the extra food that may be left over her children, only for her to take the food after the dinner date home to her children, all right, and usually to some bum dude who's not usually contributing, who doesn't believe in contributing while being in a relationship, her main dude. Because prior to taking her out, she may tell you that she's in a relationship, but it's a rocky relationship, or may say that it's on her and her main guy who she's staying with, in most cases shacking up with, on bad terms. Now, after seeing you as boring throughout the whole entire dinner day by hardly not engaging in any conversation or whatnot throughout the whole dinner date, and even texting in between while being on a dinner date, chances are she may be texting usually her main man who may be shacking up with her. And not only that, to add insult to injury, prior to picking her up to take her out on the dinner date, she may want you to come and pick her up in your car. And don't get me wrong, she may have a car her very own, only for her to lie about not having her car of her very own. Only to have a car of her very own without you even knowing, and that same main dude who she's shacking up with to be driving her car on a regular basis. This same main dude who won't even much take out the time to contribute and putting gas in the car, who may always want her to give him the money to put gas in the car, even to take it to the car wash. She may always leech off of her to take it to the car wash for her. And my point of saying this is, there are some women, some black women, who like to do all they can to take advantage of guys who they feel like they can, who they feel like are gullible, very weak-minded. And these are the same types of black women that will offer to go out on a date with a guy in most cases who may not even be her type at all, a guy who may not be street, not have any street knowledge, may not be hood at all, whereas this same chick could have a guy, like I just stated, who may be shacking up with her, who's the complete opposite, who fits the description of a Ray Ray or Pookie. And even if you may happen to have the opportunity to wine and dine her, so to speak, you know, you may take her first out on a dinner day, and then after that to a movie, to, either to the bowling alley, to the skating room. I'm just naming a few examples, only for her to eventually block you, off of social media, from DMing her after the date, even may go out of her way to block your phone number so you won't be able to contact her again at all, even if you may have enjoyed the date. And once again, this fits the exact theme and title of the video of how there are some black women who will go out on dates with guys while having a main dude at home, only to finesse that man, only to see how much she could run game on him, due to how so many black women don't want a black guy who is not street, is not hood, or someone who she may consider a straight up cornball. Yet it's still these same black women who may give these guys a chance to take them out on dates will usually go out on a date with the guy who she may consider as extremely boring but lame, once again only to finesse him. And this is on behalf of my brothers who may wonder why is it every time you may take out a sister on a date, you always usually get the short end of the stick. My brothers who may not have any kind of street credibility or street knowledge, my brothers who may be highly intelligent, my same brothers who may be highly successful. You know, you may have a job making around 100,000 plus a year. You may be financially secure enough to be able to pay you cash for pretty much any kind of vehicle you may want. You may also have your very own crib in a gated community. You may not have any kind of criminal record at all. You just believe in doing the right thing, going to work, living a normal life. You know, you may play video games every now and then. You may watch movies every now and then. You know, you're just a straight up square. Some women, according to the average black woman standards, who may be into guys who are straight hood guys. And I just wanted to, for the most part, on behalf of all of my brothers who may wonder, for some of you who may just be joining this video, I just wanted to give you some advice, some sound advice on behalf of my brothers who may have taken several women out on dates only to not never hear from the woman anymore, usually. Only for this woman who may happen to be your exact type, and you may have had the privilege of taking out on a date, to just completely ghost you after the date. Even it may have came a case whereas prior to arranging some days after texting her back and forth, the DMing her back and forth, and vice versa, and came that actual date for you to, the two of you to meet up to go out on an actual date, her to just completely ghost you. Well, in some cases, fellas, and this is on behalf of all of my brothers who some women, according to the average black woman standards, may consider you a square, a lame, a cornball. It's due to the simple fact that some black women are just not into guys like you. Due to the simple fact of how they look at that guy who is always abusive towards her, who may have multiple women while shacking up with her on the side, even in some cases may have multiple kids by multiple women, may be a guy who may be fresh out of prison or may be in and out of prison on a regular basis. These are the types of guys, in some cases, whereas the same black women who you have to wine and dine and go out of your way to spend X amount of dollars on whenever you may have the opportunity to take them out on dates. These are the same types of dudes that some black women will go out of their way to pamper, will go out of their ways if they may take these guys on a date. This guy, the main guy who may be her side guy, well, not, excuse me, not her side guy, her main guy who she may be shacking up with. These may be the same guy who she may usually during the date, instead of him having to come out of his pocket to spend X amount of dollars on a date, she will usually come out of her pocket to spend X amount of dollars on him. These are the same as that guys who, the women, some black women are dumb enough to still be in relationships, long-term relationships, where no matter how toxic the guy could be, no matter how trifling the guy could be, because it could become a case whereas when they may be out and about, he may want her to drive him around instead of it being the other way around. And it may come a case whereas they may happen to go to the gas station to get gas, and instead of him going inside to pay for the gas, but paying for the gas and pump the gas, he will have her users do so. And she may happen to catch a flat tire, may have to put air in the tire, stop at a local tire shop or gas station. Chances are he may want her to be the main one to pump the air in the tire. The same types of guys, most of the time, that so many black women claim they're so unhappy with and like to complain about. These are the main types, fellas, for all of my reserved fellas, for all of my, in some cases, socially awkward fellas, for some of my fellas, once more, who are just ordinary guys, who are highly educated, who never ever get in trouble with the law, hardly get into any fights or altercations with anybody, just believe in doing everything right. And on behalf of even my brothers who may have cried after being done wrongfully by women who you may have been extremely attracted to while having a chance to take her out on a date. These are some of the main women, and I'm going to end this after I say this one last time. These are the same types of women who will have you spend your hard-earned money and come out of your pocket when you may take them out on dates, even if she may consider you extremely lame, but yet it still may have a guy at home, her main guy, who she's shacking up with and is not contributing at all, who is a straight up trifling bum, who she will go out of her way to pamper usually and spoil you. In most cases, that guy is usually a straight up menace to society. He also, as some of us may call him in our community could be a straight up Pookie or Ray Ray. Anyways, and like I always, make sure to like, share, comment, and last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'm out.